A rookie cop thought he had hit the jackpot. Late at night, in a dimly lit police storage room, he cracked open a locked safe, expecting to find cash, maybe even confiscated valuables. But the second he pried it open, *PFFF*, a thick blast of security foam exploded in his face, covering him head to toe. He coughed, stumbled back, and tried to wipe the sticky mess off his uniform, but it only got worse. His heart pounded. Who set this up? Then reality hit him like a freight train. This wasn't just any safe. It belonged to *him*, the black police chief, a man known for being sharp, respected, and absolutely unforgiving when it came to corruption. The rookie's hands trembled. If the chief found out what he had just done, it wouldn't just be his badge on the line. It would be his entire future *. And then footsteps. Someone was coming. The cop's breath hitched as the footsteps grew louder. He wiped his hands on his uniform, but the foam clung like glue. His mind raced. Maybe he could make up a story. Say he found the safe already open. But why was he even here? Why did he let curiosity, or greed, get the best of him? Just hours ago, he had overheard a conversation in the break room. Some of the older officers were whispering about a locked safe hidden away, holding something valuable *. No one knew exactly what was inside, but one thing was clear. It belonged to Chief Warren. That should have been enough to keep him away. But instead, it pulled him in. Now standing in a mess of his own making, he could hear a voice, low, steady, and unmistakable. It was *him*. The chief. The door handle turned, and in that split second, the cop realized there was no way out. The door creaked open, and Chief Warren stepped inside. His sharp eyes swept over the room, landing on the rookie, frozen, wide-eyed, covered in foam. For a long second, there was silence. The chief's face didn't change, but his presence filled the room. "What," he said slowly, "am I looking at?" The rookie swallowed hard. His mind scrambled for a lie, an excuse, anything. But the words wouldn't come. He knew there was no talking his way out of this. Chief Warren took a step closer, his gaze shifting to the open safe. His jaw tightened. "Do you even know what you just did?" His voice was calm, too calm. The rookie shook his head, afraid to speak. Chief Warren exhaled, his expression unreadable. "That safe isn't just mine. It holds evidence, sensitive cases, sealed files." His eyes locked onto the rookie's. "And now you've made yourself part of something much bigger." The rookie felt his stomach drop. Evidence? Sealed files? He hadn't thought that far ahead. He hadn't thought at all. His hands, still sticky with foam, clenched into fists at his sides. I didn't know," he stammered. Chief Warren let out a short, humorless laugh. "Didn't know." He stepped past the rookie, staring into the open safe. Papers were damp from the foam, but most were still intact. The chief picked up a folder, flipping it open. His face darkened. The rookie tried to peek, but Warren snapped the file shut. "You have no idea what you just walked into." His voice was lower now, almost a whisper. "And I have to decide what happens next." The room felt smaller, the air heavier. The rookie's pulse pounded in his ears. He wanted to speak, to explain, but the look in the chief's eyes told him this wasn't just about him anymore. Chief Warren's grip tightened around the folder. He exhaled sharply, then turned to the rookie with an expression that was impossible to read. "Tell me something," he said. "Did anyone put you up to this?" The rookie blinked. "What?" "No, I just." He hesitated. That wasn't completely true. He wouldn't have touched that safe if it weren't for what he overheard earlier. But why would the chief ask that?
Before Daniels could respond, the driver leaned back in his seat, letting out a slow, deliberate breath. "You should have stayed out of this, officer. But now that you're in, there's no going back." A sudden realization hit Daniels like a ton of bricks. This wasn't just a simple traffic stop gone wrong. He wasn't just dealing with a few wayward military officials or a prank. What was inside that case, and what did General Thompson have to do with any of this? The weight of the situation grew heavier by the second. But then the unexpected happened. The first agent reached into the SUV and pulled out a small black device, a phone no bigger than the palm of his hand. "We need to talk to the general," he said, his voice tinged with urgency. Daniel's heart skipped a beat. What was going on? This was bigger than a simple arrest. The stakes had just been raised, and everything he thought he knew about this situation had just shifted in an instant. The clock was ticking. Would he uncover the truth before it was too late? Or had he just signed up for something far beyond his control? The tension hung in the air as the agent dialed the number on the small device. The seconds stretched into eternity. Daniels stood frozen, his mind reeling from the chaos unfolding around him. The driver didn't move, watching everything unfold with an eerie calmness. Then the phone rang. It was a sharp, sudden sound that broke through the silence. Daniel's pulse quickened as the agent held the phone up to his ear, his face hardening as he listened. "Yes, sir," the agent said, his voice changing, becoming more formal, more clipped. He glanced up at Daniels, a warning in his eyes. "We've got a complication. The officer, he's asking too many questions." The driver shot Daniels a look that said it all. They had control now. But before Daniels could react, the phone clicked off. The agent turned to the second, who was still observing from the SUV, and nodded. Time to move. Suddenly, the world around Daniels felt like it was closing in on him. The first agent stepped forward, his cold gaze never leaving Daniels. "This is above your pay grade, officer. Back off." But Daniels couldn't. Something told him he was on the edge of uncovering something monumental. He glanced at the case again, still hidden beneath the seat, his curiosity now overwhelming any fear he might have had. He couldn't let it go. Just as the agent reached for his arm to pull him away, the phone rang again. This time, it was a different tone, urgent, panicked. The agent's eyes widened. "No," he muttered, reaching for the device again. In a split second, everything erupted. The SUV's door slammed open, and from the corner of Daniel's eye, he saw two military vehicles pulling up behind him. In the chaos, the man in the driver's seat flung open his own door, and for the first time, Daniels saw fear in his eyes. "You don't know what you stumbled into," the driver whispered, rushing past him toward the case. "It's not just a bucket, it's something far worse." Before Daniels could react, the agent shoved him aside, and everything around him seemed to fall apart in an instant. The case was opened, revealing not weapons, not documents, but a small device, glowing faintly, almost alive. And that's when the truth hit Daniels like a freight train. This wasn't just about military secrets. This was about something far more dangerous, something that could threaten everything. The device was a key to unlocking something they had all been hiding. As Daniel's mind tried to make sense of it, the world around him went dark. The final twist came too late. The agent, the driver, none of them were who they appeared to be. And as the sound of sirens grew louder, Daniels realized too late that he had become part of a much bigger, far more dangerous game than he ever could have imagined. When Daniels finally came to, he was in an unfamiliar, dimly lit room. His head throbbed, and the confusion that had consumed him only grew. But what he had learned in those brief moments before the world went black echoed in his mind. The device, the glowing key, it was something they all feared, something that could change everything. As he tried to move, a voice broke the silence. "You're lucky to be alive," the agent from earlier said, standing in the doorway. "You've seen too much. But we're not killing you. Not yet." The agent paused, then sighed. You were never meant to be part of this, but now that you are, we'll make sure you're handled. Daniels didn't answer. He didn't need to. His fate had already been sealed, but one thing was certain: the truth, whatever it was, had already escaped, and the world would never be the same.